Angela Wolf here, fashion designer and online instructor. And in the last episode, we made these cute pants. I mentioned, what about adding pockets? So let me show you how to do that. So what we're gonna design and sew is a pair of pockets, and this even has a little trim on it to give it a little added something. From the inside, you can see this is what it looks like. And let me show you what the pattern looks like. Here's the pocket, and this is the back pocket. So this section here, I already have cut out. It's right here. And then here is the back pocket that will be sewn into place. And I already have that cut out. So you can kind of see this is how it's going to be sewn. But I want to add some of this piping. And you can see this is just another piece of knit that I used. So to add the piping, I cut a piece of knit just right across the fabric. So the stretch is going right with it. It's right on the cross grain. And I'm going to add that into the pants. So let me just show you my pant pattern here, and we'll head over to the sewing machine. So we're going to add that first. All right, I'm going to sew this, and you can also use a serger, whatever you have, but I like to baste it in first to make sure that I put it in right. There's nothing worse than ripping out serging stitches. Okay, so I'm just going to lay my pocket up here and switch to a basting stitch with a stitch length of 5.0. There's really no need to use pins on this. And what I'm doing is I'm stretching this just a little bit. So you've seen me use stay tape and interfacing and things like that to stabilize your pocket curve. Well, I'm using this binding, basically. It's fabric, but it's binding to hold it in place so it doesn't stretch out. All right, that looks great. You can see that's what it's going to look like. Now let's take our pocket, and we can do this with the serger now. And I'm going to use about 1/4 inch seam allowance. You'll see the basting stitch still. And around the curve. Get my finger out of the way. So that is the front of the pocket. The next thing I want to do is I'm just going to flip this to the back side. And this is my pocket. Now, I will usually lay this down, maybe give it a little pressing, but for now I'm just going to sew it so you can see what this ends up looking like. Pocket is right sides together, and I'm going to stitch all the way around this edge here. Nothing on that side. There you go. Going around the bottom curve. Again, I'm using a 4-thread overlock stitch because it's a little stronger. Depending on what you put in your pockets, you might need that extra strength in your stitch. All right, I'm going to go up here and press. Okay, so I'm going to give my first pocket the outside pocket a little pressing. And let's flip it this way. You can see the basting stitch on the back side here. And let's press this into place. All right, going back to the right side. Line up the edges of your fabric so that pocket will be secured right here on the side. I'm just going to put a couple pins right here. Because before I actually sew the pants together, I'm going to make sure that all of this pocket lays flat. That's really important. A little pressing. And that lays flat here and up here. I'm also going to pin this into place. And that I'm going to baste, just with a basting stitch to hold that and hold this. You don't need to watch that live, but the next thing I'm going to do is just pin this pocket closed. And you could do this with a pin, you could also run a basting stitch, but it's real important to keep this closed. So now here's my pant, and this is all ready to sew to the back leg. And you'll do that to both pockets, and you're finished with your pocket.